Hi everyone, happy holidays. I know this time of year can be a little nutso, and there's lots of distraction, there's lots of stimulation, there's a lot going on trying to be with family, travel, prepare for a big, beautiful holiday. And it can be very ungrounding, it can be very unsettling, it can be very triggering. A lot of it comes from the fact that there's so much stimulation that we come out of our centers, we come out of our sense of ground and understanding of what's nourishing us. And so today, this little warm up, I want to offer it to you for those moments when you do feel that you are a little ungrounded, a little uncentered. This ideally is designed to bring you back into what it is that nourishes you, help you clear away some of the excess stimulation and come into a sense of calm and peace. So I hope you enjoy. We'll begin cross-legged or seated up on a chair or a block, however feels comfortable for you. We're going to start by circling the pelvis. So I'm going to rock on my sitting bones and turn my whole spine around in a circle. So kind of like I'm a little top, a little spinning top. My whole spine stays lengthened and I'm tipping on those sitting bones, bending at the hips, circling around, creating circulation in the pelvis and hips. Keeping that length in your spine. Let's reverse, going the other way. The head is making a circle on the ceiling while the sit bones circle on the floor. And then come back to center. We're going to move up to the rib cage and make circles similarly there. This time there will be some bending in the spine. There will be a little more folding and circling. And my head, as you can tell, it's different. I'm not actually circling it as much as I was before with the pelvis. I'm trying to keep it mainly in one place. Reverse your circles. If this feels sticky or kind of stuck, it's okay. You might have to make smaller circles at first and slow them down so that you can try and smooth out your circle as much as possible. Again, we're just warming up, so it's okay if you feel sticky. Coming back to center. Now we come up to the head, and we're going to imagine like a flashlight shining up out of the crown of my head. I'm going to circle it over to the side and down around to the other side and then back behind me. Go the other way. And come back to center. Going back down to the ribs, circle again. Bring your breath into it now. So as you're circling, maybe it's getting a little bit smoother. Let your breath fill up your rib cage, reversing your circles. Coming back to center. Coming to the hips again. So keeping that straight line of your spine, now we'll circle again, moving around the sitting bones, keeping that nice vertical spine. Let's reverse. Really moving the hips, bending and swirling. Coming back to center. Change which leg is in front if you've been cross-legged. Take a deep breath in. I'm just going to imagine, you might close your eyes here. We're just going to imagine the vertical line that runs through the very center of our bodies. This is our midline. In the back and in the skeletal system, it's our spine. But there's other aspects of our midline as well, other structures that run right along this plane. So I just want you to imagine, very generally speaking, how our midline rises up toward the sky, but it also presses down into the earth. so that you're moving vertically both up and in the down directions. Feel free to close your eyes as you take a few breaths. And can you imagine as you inhale, moving or tracing a line down the front of your body? And as you exhale, trace that line just with your mind's eye up the front of your body. And repeat that. And this is your midline. Bring your hands to the back of your head and imagine here there's a center point, just like the rest of our midline, at the back of the head. The skull wraps around the forehead. You can use your hands to do that, creating a sphere, creating a hollow cavity that embraces your brain. So now just imagine your breath filling up this hollow cavity that holds and embraces your brain. And with that breath, can you relax your brain inside your skull? We'll move down to the rib cage. So the ribs connect on either side of the spine, and then they wrap around and connect at the sternum plate, the breastbone right in front. So there's again this wrapping around to create a hollow sphere or a hollow cavity that embraces our heart and our lungs. So once again, can you breathe into this cavity? Allowing your heart to rest. And finally, we have our pelvis, the third and final sphere of our midline, or that embraces our midline. So from the sacrum, which is the final and lowest part of our spine, that's that flat bone at the base of your spine. From there, on either side, the pelvic bones wrap around and they connect in the front at your pubic bone. So can you now envision the hollow space of your pelvic bowl, breathing into it? And breathing into the reproductive and digestive organs that can rest. So we have our midline now helping us to ground and center. We're going to place one hand on the navel and the other hand is going to come behind to the back of the navel. So front and back of the navel is held. And now can you bring your breath in between your hands, filling up the space. So you feel the navel moving both forward and backward. And then as you exhale, feel how they come together very naturally. This isn't about activating or squeezing, just following the natural movement that occurs with your breath. Try that one more time. Keeping your hand on your front navel, reach the other arm up high out into the world. And I'm going to ask that you find the reach of your fingertips and find the reach of your arm and your shoulder. And imagine that it's connected and grounded by your navel here. So this is like your balloon and the string that's attached to it. So as you reach, we're going to keep this front hand grounding the navel, just that sense of rooting down. And we're going to take a reach over to the side. As you do so, keep rooting. So no matter where your arm goes, no matter where your midline goes, you still have a sense of where the ground is. Breathing into this side that you're expanding. And then can you roll your navel down into the floor to bring you up and return to center. We'll switch hands. The other arm reaches out to the side like your balloon, connected to the string, connected to the ground. And as you find this diagonal, as you find this vertical, as you find this other diagonal, can you root your navel into the earth, downward. Breathing into this open, expanding side. turning to bring you upright. And then we come both hands on the navel. This front leg is going to extend forward and the other leg stays bent, but we just bring the foot right to the inner thigh. And now I'm going to imagine my navel trying to reach toward my foot. So we just explored how the arms connect to the navel or to our center. So now imagine the same with the legs. The leg extends from the navel through the pelvis and out through the foot. I want to bring the navel to the foot, bowing into my leg, maybe getting a little stretch on the back of your thigh. And then roll your navel up and away from your foot. Do that again, rolling into your foot and away. One more time, taking your navel to your leg and moving it away. And we'll switch sides. So keeping the hands either on the navel or if they want to come to the floor beside you. Can you initiate the movement from this center, from the navel, which is the center of the center? 3 times, moving toward and away from that leg. And then come back to center. We're going to make our way to standing. So come to your hands and your knees. Tuck your toes under and walk your hands back to push back, walking towards your feet. Your knees can stay bent. And from here, you're folded over your legs, but you're also folded over your navel. Remember what you just did. Can you now roll your navel away from your feet to come to stand? So coming to with wide feet, we're now going to bend forward again. So we're going to bend our midline over our horizontal center line, our navel. So if you could, drop the head and imagine your navel sinking backward as you fold over it. You can bend your knees here. Maybe you put your hands on a chair in front of you or on your thighs if it feels too much. Otherwise, you can drop your arms. Let your midline hang. And then moving your navel away from your legs to roll up. We'll bend the knees and unfurl your spine to vertical. We're going to take the arms and we're going to swing them inward and outward. I'm turning the hands in and I'm turning the hands open. So that's rotating my shoulders inward and outward. Let the arms lead. The fingertips will lead the arms and the shoulders will follow. Let the fingertips turn. Everything else follows. So turning the fingers moves the shoulders in and out. And then allow your rib cage to also follow this command. So there's a contracting in or a narrowing in as we come here, and then opening as we come out. So we're gathering into our center and then expanding out with more clarity, more connection to the earth, more nourishment of ourselves and our souls. Sweeping in and out, getting warm, getting the heart awake. You can bend the knees. You can do whatever you want. This is your movement. It can look like however you want. We're going to try now just one side of the body, sweeping in and out. Keep breathing. And so I'm kind of conducting my own internal orchestra here as I take my one side of the body in and out, and then we'll go to the other side, same thing. So sweep in and out. My whole side is coming in, folding in like a book, and then opening again, back into the world. Even my head can follow that. All right, let that go. Hopefully you're getting warmer. We're coming to a little bit of our Qigong part of the warm-up. We're going to put the hands on either side of our kidneys, and those are right at the base of the ribs, these tiny little kidney bean shaped organs. That's how the kidney bean got their name. But you can imagine that little shape, And on either side of the spine, right at the base of the ribs, that's where they sit. We're just gonna rub our kidneys. And brush down on either side of the lower back. Our kidneys are part of our detoxification system, and they also are deeply connected to the adrenal glands, which sit on top of the kidneys. And our adrenals are part of our fight and flight system. They're a huge part of our hormonal balance. And when our adrenals are overworked, we feel tired and not restored. So by waking up, warming up our kidneys, we come into more restoration. So just kind of shaking out, tapping out the kidneys. And then we're just gonna tap the legs, the big sides of our hips, all the way down to the feet on the outside of the legs. And then tap on the inside of the legs, coming up toward the hip bones. And do that again. On the outside, we go down. On the inside, we come up. One more time. So we're just tapping the meridians, the pathways of the body, the energy pathways of the body. Beautiful. Coming back to center, feet wide. Feel your midline. Dropping in. Take a breath. We're going to reach the right arm up to the ceiling and the left arm down to the ground. And so I'm flexing my palm up to the sky and flexing my palm down to the earth. As I do that, I'm finding this reach from my navel in both directions. And then bring both arms together right in the middle. And switch. Left arm goes high, right arm goes low. Feel the extension of that side of the body coming out of your navel. And continue breathing. Again, this is part of our Qigong section of the warm-up, and I love Qigong so much for its gentleness and its ability to take me deeper inward. One more time, please, each side. Of course, you can take this longer if you like. It can be very meditative. And then coming back to your center. Arms are going to swing around your torso. And as you're doing that, you're swirling your kidneys. I'm tapping my kidney with the back arm as it kind of swings back and lands there at my kidney very lightly. We're winding up our midlines in order to calm them down, bringing them back to a centered, soft place. Go ahead and shake that out. Bring your feet together, and we have 4 points of each of our feet. So we have the big toe and pinky toe, and we have the inner and the outer heel. So with that, can you press each of those 4 corners of your foot down into the floor as they come together? We're going to bend the knees, and we're going to be circling our hips like we did when we were seated in the early part of this workout, in the early part of this warm-up. I'm going to ask that you, as you circle, can you try to hit each one of these 8 points, right? Total 8 points, 4 on each side. Circling, circling. It's a more internal circle than it is like a big, kind of externally focused circle. Keep the knees bent, move the hips, reverse your circle. And then you'll come back to center. Widen the feet again. Toes are pointing forward. We're going to bend into a high squat position, which means I'm not going all the way down to the ground. I'm going to keep a nice hip, knee, and ankle bend. But as you can see, I am on a high diagonal with my spine, from hips to head. I'm not here, and I'm not all the way down here. Okay, so it's like I'm about to sit in a chair. So we're gonna come right in, prayer pose with the hands in this place. This is our landing place, okay? We're gonna come into the kick of the leg, shifting and kicking. Come back, kick, come back, kick, land, kick, land. Keep breathing. And I don't care what your kick looks like, but imagine it comes from your navel. Kick, land, kick, land, kick. Isn't it fun? Kick, kick. I'm from the ground, finding this reach into the world. And I hope you're getting warm. Let's do 3 more. Land and land. That's the important part. Land. I can't kick if I don't land. 1 more. And come back to your squat. Stand all the way up. Come back into your squat 1 more time. Just to bring us back to stasis. Shake out those hips. Hopefully that brought you into some vitality, into some heat, but from a really centered place. We're going to take a forward bend once again, folding over the navel. Rolling all the way back up. Let's circle the shoulders. Okay, so let's put it all together for one final beautiful movement. Connecting our internal to our external worlds, being continuously able to weave inner and outer back and forth. So upper and lower bodies come in. I'm going to do what we did before, turning the upper body, arms, shoulders, ribs inward. And you can see I'm doing the same with my hips, my knees, my toes. Everything's coming in toward my midline. And then I'm gonna pivot on my heels and swing it out. So let it be big, let it be small, whatever you want. But swing and have fun. I'm folding around my navel. And I'm just enjoying weaving my worlds in and out. Now I'm gonna take just one side of the body, and I'm gonna pivot now on my toes. So it's a little bit easier. Just that one side. And then come to the other side. Breathing, because it is work. Really come in and then out. The quality of my out comes from the quality of my in. Now we're going to take the opposite arm and leg. I'm going to come in and out. On my toes still. One more time, and then the other side. Finding that diagonal relationship. And then just jump it out, let it go completely. Walk around the room, walk around your space, see the world around you. Do anything you need to kind of come back down, back into your center. And then let's come to sitting. I want to thank you for joining me. This was so much fun. I hope you had fun too. And I hope you have a wonderful, grounded, nourishing holiday.